All right, the hard part's done. Congrats on getting your Class 1. You're now a proper HGV Arctic driver with C+E on your licence. Feels good, doesn't it? Whoop whoop. But here's the bit that's only whispered in distribution's darkest corners. So far, you've only won half the battle, because the next challenge is a driving assessment. And sometimes that can feel like an even bigger mountain to climb than the actual test. Because without passing it, you're never going to get that first paycheck. You'll be fine out on the road probably. You've already covered hundreds of training miles, driving practice routes in city traffic, roundabouts, big and small, tight turns, maybe even some dodgy country lanes. But the bit that freaks people out though is reversing onto a dock. On the test, you completed the Module 3A S-shaped reversing manoeuvre. And you can admit it, you were highly coached for that exact manoeuvre, weren't you? Line up here, look at that, turn there, straighten at this cone. Basically, you were told exactly what to do and when. Nothing at all like a real-world assessment, where you're just told to stick it on the dock. Just a simple right-angled reverse between two trailers. Sounds easier, but the scary bit is this will be the first time reversing between two trailers ever. And that's why so many new drivers get so nervous before their first assessment. They're thinking, how am I meant to reverse between two trailers when all I've practiced is that test course in a shitty car park in Castleford or somewhere. But, and this is the important bit, don't freak out, because the truth is everything you learnt for that reversing test can be used here. You've already got the building blocks, you just need to slow down, think and use them properly. Going back to your instructor standing in the car park, what did he actually teach you? Firstly, it was that he had a plan for the reverse. He knew that if you did everything he told you to at every cone or point on the course, then the trailer would always be heading in the desired direction. The exact details don't matter now. What matters is you understand that reversing isn't witchcraft. It's a simple, repeatable process, just like microwaving mum's shepherd's pie. So let's talk about the 5-step process for a good side dock reverse. What's the plan? Step 1, it's all about the setup. The setup is the single most important part of any reverse. Any experienced driver will confirm this. The setup, the bit you do while you're still going forward. You need to think about where the trailer's pointing, how it's angled at the bay and the tractor unit. If you get this right, the actual reverse is almost boring. Honestly, when you nail the setup, the trailer just glides in like your nan on a skateboard. So don't rush, pull forward, give yourself room and swing out properly. If it's a big open yard, use it. Get the trailer's arse pointing square at the bay, even before you put it in reverse. But think of the setup a bit like foreplay. It's the prep work required before putting it in. Next, use all the space. On your test, space was limited on purpose to create a standardized, challenging environment, but in most of the distribution yards used for assessments, you'll have loads more room available. If there's more than 1.5 lorry lengths between the parked trailers on one side and whatever's opposite, a fence, a wall, other trailers, then you've got almost enough room to point the trailer straight at the dock before you even start reversing. Too many newbies fixate on the dock itself. They then try to steer the trailer into the bay from less than 10 foot away. What happens? They end up with blind spots caused by crazy angles and a much higher chance of clipping the trailer next door. Instead, do the hard work out in the open yard where you've got the room. By the time the trailer's rear is crossing into the bay, You want it basically straight already. That's the trick. Before moving on to step 3, could you hit the thumbs up and subscribe buttons for me? Thanks. Step 3, don't be afraid to shunt. This one's worth hammering home. Remember how the test and practice allowed for 2 shunts? Too many new passes think on assessments they've got to get it done in 1. They don't want to look silly, so they keep battling on from a bad setup. Unit at 90 degrees, trailer skewed, assessor watching, stress levels going to the moon. Shunts are normal. They're smart. If your setup's wrong, just pull forward, straighten up and try again. Assessors will like that. It shows you know when something's not working. Even experienced drivers take at least 1 pull forward pretty much every other reverse. Some might nail it in 1 go more often than not, but everybody shunts. Step 4, good side versus blind side. If your assessment is a good side reverse onto your driver's side, you're laughing. You can look out the window or you can lean out and see the trailer the whole way. That's how you want it. If they ask you to do a blind side, reversing into a space on the passenger side where you can't see the trailer in the mirror or out of the window, then good luck. Honestly, if a company expects a driver to blindside between trailers, that might be a sign that the job's not right for a new starter. It's doable, but it's fairly advanced stuff and most drivers avoid it unless they absolutely have to. Step 5, the steering trick. Here's a little trick for a good side reverse that will help keep your head in the game. Remember it, or if you get stress amnesia, write it on your hands. Left hand down makes the trailer get bigger in the driver's mirror. You're creating more angle and the trailer will pivot on the spot. Right hand down makes the trailer shrink in the driver's mirror. You're reducing angle, straightening up and pushing it towards the target. When you're happy with the position, it's all about what we call chasing the trailer. A tiny bit of left down to rotate it more, or a tiny bit of right to follow it in. The tractor then naturally straightens as the trailer slides into the bay, smooth as you like. Now, let's be honest, the first assessment will be stressful. The nerves, the assessor sitting there judging everything, the feeling that your whole career depends on whether you hit that dock square. It's a lot. But take a breath, remember the basics, have a plan, think about the setup, use all of the space you've got, take a shunt if you need one, and don't try and finish the manoeuvre inside the bay. Do the work out in the open so that by the time you're actually in the bay, it's just a straight line backwards. Picture the trailer gently kissing the dock bump stops, nice and square, thump. Parking brakes on, you've done it. That's the moment you know you're in. And honestly, it feels glorious. You feel less like a newbie and start feeling like a proper driver. So yeah, don't panic, you've got this. Good luck on the assessment and subscribe. You'll have a better chance of passing, definitely. I'm serious. Subscribers pass more assessments.